Tonight, new video showing a police officer assaulting a former WSU football player.
And WSU soccer still alive in the NCAA tournament.
And a comic book legend passes away. Murrow News 8 starts now.
From Studio B on the campus of Washington State University, this is Pullman's only nightly newscast. This is Murrow News 8.
Good evening, I'm Brianna Childress.
And I'm Jennifer Forsman. Welcome to Murrow News 8.
Our top story tonight, a new video surfaced showing a Pullman police officer assaulting a customer of Bob's Corner Market back in February. The store caught the ordeal on camera. We would like to warn younger viewers that the following video may contain offensive material. Surveillance footage shows the officers tasing and attacking former WSU football player Trayshawn Broughton for allegedly using a fake $20 bill. Broughton has now filed a lawsuit against the officer for the use of excessive force when they arrested him.
Pullman's overall crime decreased from 2016 to 2017, and some feel it comes from the efforts of law enforcement as well as the strong sense of community in our college town. The decrease in crime includes crimes of assault, burglary, drug offenses. And Pullman police work to make a small college town of Pullman a great place to live. They feel it ultimately comes down to the community.
We are part of the community. We solve crime by interacting with you. I'll take positive statistics and pat my guys on the back for them.
Crime rests.
Lawsuit filed by former WSU employee Tony Rogers alleges discrimination and unfair investigation by university officials in the school's Office for Equal Opportunity. Rogers, who stated in court documents that he worked for WSU for 27 years, filed the suit in the U.S. District Court for the District of Idaho in Coeur d'Alene on October 26th. In the lawsuit, Rogers claimed officials carried out a biased investigation and ignored evidence, falsified and hid interview notes that supported his side of a dispute involving religious and dating issues between him and two female coworkers. In a recent study, WSU researchers found that cannabis smoke may have negative effects on unborn children. The study looked at offspring of pregnant rats who exposed to cannabis vapor and discovered negative cognitive effects. The group of rats exposed to high doses of cannabis vapor made significantly more errors on shifting tasks. The researchers' goals include establishing an understanding of the long-term effects of marijuana use during pregnancy. The next step in the research involves using a wider variety of animals.
In a year full of peaks and valleys for the WSU women's soccer team, the light shines brightest on Friday night in the lower soccer field in Pullman as the Cougars defeated the University of Montana in the first round of the NCAA tournament. The Cougars opened the game on a mission, dominating the time of possession to grab a commanding 5-1 win over the Grizzlies to advance to the second round of the tournament. The Cougars will now face the number 2 team in the country in Georgetown on Friday. Kind, sensitive, dedicated, and beautiful. Just some of the countless adjectives family members, friends, and coaches used to describe Lauren McCuskey during her celebration of life. Hundreds of mourners turned out to remember the 20-year-old Pullman High graduate and former University of Utah athlete. A scholarship fund has been established in her name and has already collected more than enough money to become endowed. The university will provide the first scholarship in McCluskey's name next fall.
Moscow celebrated Veterans Day with a ceremony including more than 30 veterans and civilians at the Moscow Cemetery. The special celebration referenced the 100-year anniversary of World War I, hosted by the American Legion Dudley Loomis Post 6 in Moscow, and the Moscow Veterans of Foreign Wars Holly Jameson Post 29-5. On behalf of our Murrow News 8 team, thank you to those who have served and continue to serve our country. Just last month, the city of Pullman acknowledged Columbus Day as Indigenous Peoples Day, and the month of November brings Native American Heritage Month. Earlier today, Vanessa McMahon went to the Native American Student Center to find out more. Let's take a look.
I'm outside of Cleveland Hall, home of WSU's Native American Student Center, where they are gearing up for Native American Heritage Month events to celebrate and educate people on Native American culture.
It's so beneficial because it is us rewriting our history in a way that is accurate, an accurate portrayal of who we really are. And so it gives us the opportunity to not only invite people in and share our rich culture and heritage, but it also gives us a platform to say we are still here.
Everybody here in Pullman, everybody in this whole entire country lives on indigenous people's land, lives on native land. And it's kind of strange that nobody really knows, not a lot of people are familiar with tribal governance or what kind of issues are around that, you know, I mean, and what sovereignty means, what it means to be indigenous, and what it means to be an ally with indigenous people.
The official Native American Heritage Day is November 23rd, but it is a month-long celebration, so check out the events on the Native American Student Center Facebook pages and social media. Reporting live from Cleveland Hall, Vanessa McMahon, Murrow News 8.
When we come back, a look at a dance group on the Palouse.
And remembering a man who brought heroes to life when Murrow News 8 continues.
The great outside.
My new mom and I have a lot in common.
So shiny.
We both love the outdoors.
That's not a flower.
And she knows a lot about wildlife.
A labradoodle.
You don't have to be perfect to be a perfect parent. Thousands of kids in foster care will take you just as you are.
My new dad teaches me all kinds of stuff.
I wouldn't use this one.
He helps me with my decision making.
Never.
And he's even teaching me how to drive.
And that's why cars have bumpers.
You don't have to be perfect to be a perfect parent. Thousands of kids in foster care will take you just as you are.
Wow, these are really good.
You act surprised. Practice makes perfect.
You don't have to be perfect to be a perfect parent. There are thousands of teens in foster care who don't need perfection. They need you.
Yesterday morning, Marvel fans all over the world mourned the loss of comic creator and innovator Stan Lee. The power of his imagination became his superpower, and with it, Lee led Marvel Comics and drew people into a world where superheroes and villains faced off in a battle between good and evil. Stan Lee passed away yesterday morning at Cedars-Sinai Medical Center. The comic giant traveled by ambulance from his Los Angeles home to the hospital, where he later died. We still don't know the cause of death, but Stan Lee was 95 years old.
The Daily Grind in downtown Pullman, typically a venue for studying and sipping coffee, can also add vintage swing dancing to its list of things to do. I went out and talked with the Palouse Swing Devils to learn about how they keep the art of swing dancing alive.
With deadlines, anxiety, and constant financial hardship, many college students find solace in binge drinking. But Michael Knoll found a different remedy: vintage swing dance.
One of my friends was like, "Michael, you should come swing dancing with us." And I was like, fine. And I came, and then they dragged me another week, and then I was hooked. And I started just dancing all the time. And now I dance like 7 to 12 hours a week.
Knoll says swing helped not only his social life, but health as well.
Before I started swing dancing, I hadn't done much of any physical activity for like 6 months after I graduated college. And so it's something that is really fun, but also gets your heart rate up.
The Swing Devils of the Palouse started classes at the Moose Lodge in Moscow, but have since expanded. So every second Friday of the month, this room at the Daily Grind is turned into a vintage swing dance floor.
I was on the ballroom team for a while, and then I really stuck with swing dancing. I really liked how, kind of goofy and fun it was, and how you could do improvisation and just kind of make it your own. So that's what really drew me to swing dancing.
Although it was Merlin Avila's first time, she says she plans on coming back.
I had a lot of fun. I got to meet new people, and I really learned a lot of the dance steps. So
Noel also says he does not plan on quitting swing anytime soon.
I used to be a fairly typical socially awkward engineer, and I feel like now I am a lot more confident with talking to people. I don't see my life not having social dancing in it anytime soon.
To find out more about the Swing Devils, you can visit their Facebook page or website at swingdevils.org. Brianna Childress, Murrow News 8.
Next, Mackenzie Foster tells us what to expect for this week's weather.
And later, a story that may warm your heart when Murrow News 8 returns.
when you're out there, there's no telling what you'll find.
I see it! I see it! Oh, look at you.
There are some moments only the forest can inspire. Find yours at discovertheforest.org.
The great outside.
My new mom and I have a lot in common.
So shiny.
We both love the outdoors.
That's not a flower.
And she knows a lot about wildlife.
A labradoodle.
You don't have to be perfect to be a perfect parent. Thousands of kids in foster care will take you just as you are.
If you want to be a parent, it doesn't matter how you play or even what you wear. You just need to be there. Thousands of teens in foster care don't need perfection. They just need you.
So we had the first snow of the year last weekend. Did you see any of it, Bree?
I did. I actually saw a little bit while I was driving to the grocery store. But let's head over to the Weather Center where Mackenzie Foster will tell us if we can expect any more flurries this week. Kenzie?
Well, Bree, I was in Coeur d'Alene this weekend and it was definitely dumping snow over there. But as for Pullman, we still do not have to break out our snow boots quite yet. Today's temperatures were pretty average for this time of year in the mid-40s, but tonight they will drop into the 30s, so you may see some frost on the ground if you wake up early morning. As we look at the full map forecast, when we look at the east side of the state, we'll see that all temperatures are pretty similar in the mid-40s with some clouds overhead. The real cold front is hitting in the middle of the state in Wenatchee, where temperatures only reached a high in the mid-30s today. And temperatures are still pretty mild over there on the west side at around 50 degrees. As we look at tomorrow's temperatures, we're going to see that they're pretty similar today in the mid-40s. As I mentioned earlier, if you plan on waking up early in the morning, you may see some frost on the ground, maybe even have to break out your ice scraper for your car. But as we reach the afternoon, temperatures will rise once again into the mid-40s. As we look at the 5-day forecast, we'll see that temperatures are going to be pretty consistent with a high in the mid-40s throughout the week, but they will start to drop into the 20s at night. As we get closer to the weekend, more and more students will probably plan on driving over to the west side, so if that includes you, definitely take caution when driving. That's all I have for you today. Back to you at the desk.
Next up, a story about how a community rallies together to give a dog its sight back.
When Murrow News 8 returns.
Isn't that cute?
It's so cute.
So, same time next week?
Well, of course. Put away a few bucks, feel like $1 million. For free tips to help you save, go to Feed the Pig.
In July, someone found a blind Yorkie left for dead on the side of the road in West Virginia. And after months of hardships, doctor's appointments, and the community rallying around him with donations to cover the cost of his eye surgery, the Humane Society had him treated, and he can once again see. Sight isn't the only new thing Winston enjoys. The family recently adopted him and has given him a new home. Isn't that
is
cute?
Just so precious.
I know, right? Do you guys have any dogs?
I have a dog at home, but I definitely want to adopt one from the Humane Society in the future, I think.
Awesome. Well, thank you for watching us tonight. Join us every weeknight at 7 and 10 for Pullman's only nightly newscast.
Have a great evening, and don't forget to follow